All right, publish. Create the event Discord, and then we're gonna see and make sure we're live on YouTube because sometimes that bugs out, and then we're good. What a morning of debugging. I am done with it. I want to learn to code. We're gonna go till 11:30 today. Okay, we all set up? Yeah, I am live. Perfect. Let's go. Close all of these tabs. Okay. I almost think this belongs in science and technology. We're just going to do that from now on. Thought maybe education would. Yeah, I don't think education's the right tag for it. All right, close. Oh, we are good. All right. Let's dive in. Music is a little loud. I'm going to turn that down just slightly. That's good. Oh, that's why. Oh. Turn it down. All right, there we go. I don't know why I was blasting in my ears. All right, so let's dive in. So we just did edges. We're moving on. Let's go ahead and do like accept here. All right, check if rectangles overlap. Let's write the, let me do this. Let's write the overlaps method. It should check if this rectangle overlaps a given rectangle rect. Okay. Return true if this rectangle overlaps any part of rect, including just touching sides, or false otherwise. Check the following 4 conditions that must be true. A's left side is on or to the left of B's. Okay, like, all right, let's go to overlaps. So we're going to have, what do you mean A? You're just... So the rectangle we're getting is not this rectangle. Okay. Do we have access to this? I bet you we do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we do. So we can get left X. Do we? Okay. Yeah, let's just assume we do have access to that. I don't think there's anything unique set up where we're going to not have access to these methods in Boot.dev specifically. All right, so we are going to do on or to the left of B side. B is rect. Okay. Wait, just okay. So def for Python to establish a method is necessary, but not a variable. I just had to remember that for a second. I mean, I guess we could do all of this, otherwise return false. Nope, no semicolon. No parenthesis. If get left x is on or to the left, that must be true. 4 conditions that must be true. 4 conditions must be true? Must all be true? Dragon body, fire breath. So A's left side is on or to the left of B's right side? A's right side, I'm guessing this is A and this is B in this example. A's top side is on or above B's. I just forgot what we're defining as like rectangle. Is this the fire breath or is this the dragon? I wish I knew that. But I'm going to assume that the rectangle is the fire breath. And that A's left side is on or to the left of B's right side. And then A's right side is on or to the right of B's. Oh, yeah, because of rectangle. Never mind. They all do have to be true. Because if they're all to the left, they could this rectangle could be over here. Okay, visual. Okay, I get this now. Yep, all 4 conditions need to be true. Okay, cool. Rect get right x. Can we do this in Python? Man, I want to like shove this down. Can we do this in Python? So if A's right x is on or to the right, get left x, so it has to be to the right of the left boundary. And then self get just top y, okay. Is going to be above B's bottom side, above. Which is going to be, if top is above rec get bottom, assuming, right? Yep, get bottom y, and I don't know if this is going to work with breaking this if statement down like this. I'm going to look this up real quick, see if we can do this with Python. And then bottom side get bottom y is bottom side is on or below B's top side. I don't think you could do this. But we can format this in a second. Then we return true. Parentheses. You can use parentheses in Python? Really? No, just this. No way this works. Is this tabbed? Okay, so it's in, okay, it's this tab from the F. That, okay. Does this work? I'm assuming it does. Or he broke it. Hello? I am live. Just opened up a new. No, can't. Okay, I just want to save it. Run. Okay. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Test this first, and then we'll play around with the formatting. Get rid of this right parenthesis. Invalid syntax. Let's just look up conditional logic again. Why? I'm assuming this is still going to error out. Yeah. Oh my god, did I... it's literally rectangle. Okay, got it. Rect. Alright, let's try it. Fuck you. Rect. Hold on, we're gonna do this just for a second. Strip that. Okay. No. Okay. Let's strip this and include that join. Oh. What? Okay. It's the first problem. We gotta warm up our brain. Okay, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. All right, there we go. Submit. Yes, let's go. All right, so let's try this. How would I want to do this? Probably keep the end. I mean, actually. And then include a parenthesis here. So it does work. Okay. I never really did decide if I wanted like the and or operator at the end or the beginning. I never really had a preference for either. Okay, so we have this. What was the other option for formatting? The backslash? I kind of like that. I probably do include it at the end a little bit more anyways. Do I like this better? Oh, get rid of this parenthesis. I almost like the idea of not wrapping conditionals in parentheses. But you're going to do it with order of operations anyways to control that. But it's almost like it's an escape from JavaScript. And then we got to go back to it with the parentheses. That's what it feels like. But I do think the backslash feels weird. Okay. All right, let me look at chat. What's up? How you guys doing? What's up, T2AV? It's going pretty well. How are you doing? What's up, Cold Pizza? Welcome back. Would it be correct to say PySpark greater than parallel processing in terms of, I don't know. I don't know PySpark. What's up, Anonymous? Hargan, how you guys doing? First time being here, just read your bio. If you don't mind me asking, why do you use Boot.dev if you're already a pro dev? Because I'm affiliated. I want to go through their entire program. I have a video. I'll link it in chat. But I mainly kind of like a front-end dev. I want to get better with back-end, and Boot.dev's good. It's really good for that. Get a really solid foundation. Such a good song. I'll link this in chat. You are welcome to, if you even want to, watch it at your leisure, but it'll kind of explain things a little bit. But yeah, I'm affiliated and, you know, heard a lot of really good things about Boot.dev. I kind of breezed through the curriculum. I thought it was really good from what I saw. But just like Scrimba, I went through that entire curriculum, and I basically ran students through it and get a really good feel for it, the good and the bad. I want to do that with Boot.dev as well. Use Boot.dev. Oh, you use Boot.dev yourself. Oh, that's pretty cool. I should like put like an about me. Honestly, you know what? I'm going to do that as a to-do because I do a lot of Boot.dev streams. That's a good question. Why add why Boot.dev in Twitch panels? There we go. Hey, what's up, Yunche? Hope you're having a good morning. I'm having an okay morning. It was better than yesterday. I got no sleep. I just couldn't sleep the night before. Man, that was rough. Yesterday sucked ass. But I got quite a bit of sleep today. Still waiting on payment from Scrimba, so I can't really get rolling with that. I feel like I'm kind of in a weird standstill with things. So I'm going to keep up with mentorship sessions and everything because they pay the bills today. Then once that payment goes through with Scrimba, you know, I'm going to get rolling. Like I got a whole plan. I'm going to be live streaming a lot. Got a whole plan that I want to execute on. I wanted to start it towards the end of this week, in the evenings, like this evening and tomorrow. But I don't know. I'm still waiting on that payment. So we'll see. Outside of that, I'm really good. I don't know. I guess this morning was a little bit annoying because I had to debug sound issues. I just reconnected my Bluetooth to my Windows, and because of how I have it set up, and it's kind of complicated, and it's my fault, but it's so convenient once you get it set up. I had to redo a bunch of audio settings to then hook up my headphones so I could hear what you guys were hearing again. So I had to start stream late. I don't know. I still feel like it's a good morning. You know what? I still feel like it's a good morning. I'm feeling good. That's what matters. I'm going to go work out. I'll probably eat after this. After this, then I got a short one-on-one session. Then I'm going to go work out, and I'll feel even better. Pretty tired. Had an early morning. Oof, man, that was my morning. Last morning. I just had a late night. I hate being tired. I hate being tired so much. I can be a little bit tired, but when I start getting to about only 4 to 6 hours of sleep, my day sucks. If I get at least 6, it's going to be okay. If I get at least 7, it's going to be great. That's me for sleep. Bringing it together in the Dragon class. It is kind of crunched up a little bit. Oh, we gotta reposition this, don't we? That doesn't look lined up, does it? Oh, I'm so freaking picky. I mean, it doesn't line up with the border. I don't care that much. That's good. That's good. How you guys doing, by the way? Yo, it's almost Friday. It's Thursday. Hell yeah. And I'll do this for Boot.dev. Agreed, I had 4 today. That's rough, man. 4 is rough. Everyone kind of has their default amount of sleep, and very few people can like my mom, 4 hours of solid sleep, and she is good. She has a ton of energy. She's crazy. I did not get her genes with that. I need more than 4. That's great. Happy to hear it's going okay, even with the audio diagnostic stuff. Yeah, I'm still feeling good. That's what matters. Yeah, I think the chat, I'm okay with the chat where it is. It's pretty good. Which course are you at? I am at the, basically the object-oriented stuff, the classes for Python. Good morning, Kelsey. How you doing? Renadan, how's it going? Welcome back. Got the whole crew here. Let's go. Let's bring all we've done together in the Dragon class. The Dragon class should override the units class and area method. Okay, instead of checking if the center position of the dragon is in the given area, we'll check if it's a big dragon, or we'll check if its big dragon body overlaps the given area. Okay. The unit in area, instead of checking if the center position of the dragon is in the given area, we'll check if its big dragon body overlaps within the given area. Okay. Within the given area. Methods in parent classes often use pass to signal they should be overridden in child classes. Then why do we have these? What's the point of this? Unless we have some logic here. Right? By default, the unit is going to have some logic, but what is the point? Because if this is just an example to showcase that we can override it, Like, why? Methods and parent classes often use pass to signal they should be overridden in child. To override, create a method with the same name in the child class. Like, why can we not create a new method here and delete this? Like, what is the problem with that? I want to figure that out after I solve this problem. And if anyone in chat knows, let me know. Complete the dragon constructor. Add a private data member hitbox that is a rectangle object. Okay. So I'm guessing pass comes at the end. So we could have logic here. And if we don't have pass, it can't be overridden? Or what happens? Hitbox is rectangle. That's how you write an object in Python, right? It's been a while. But we... Wait, what are we doing? What are we passing in? We're passing in a rectangle. What does that take? We're just doing a new rectangle, but we gotta pass in, like, the boundaries of the rectangle, like the location, do we not? Oh, never mind. I'm reading overlaps. I don't know why I'm doing that. So x1, xy, x2. That feels weird. Why would you have your constructor below a method like this? Is that conventionally correct? Or would the Pythonistas rage out? Okay. All right, so x1, y1, x2. Okay. Maybe I'm overthinking this, but wouldn't it be x1, y1, x2? I mean, it's going to be minus height. Like, is it x1 and y1 are always... Like, which of these is x1? Here? I guess it doesn't really matter what we start with. But if we're going to, like, assume this is x1 and y1, or I guess it... Or... No, I think it's always going to be this corner. I'm just going to do this for now. Okay. I'll read some of this. I just wanted to think through it myself, even if it's wrong, even if I'm going in the wrong direction. Some of these, like, tasks, I feel like give it away too much. User provider height, width, and center position. Center position. Okay. That's the center position? What? Fuck me. Okay. To create the hitbox. All right, so I mean, you know what? I'm gonna repeat code. I don't care. Okay, so that's gonna be width divided by 2 minus height divided by 2. Okay, so x minus width divided by 2. And then y is height divided by 2, right? Am I going in the right direction with this? I don't know. We'll see. I kind of want to... We'll move on. We'll come back to it if we need to. Override in area method. Create a new rectangle object with the given corner positions. That is a rectangle object. Okay, create a new rectangle object with the given corner positions. Okay. I was overthinking that for a second. x1, y1, x2, y2. Use the rectangle's overlaps method to check if Dragon's self hitbox is inside of it. Okay. So you just bumped it up to the top. That okay. I guess I get why you bump it up to the top, to make it more visible. It's interesting seeing okay, so Lane will do a parenthesis, shoves these 4 in. Okay. So you can do that. I guess you can, yeah. Once you do that parenthesis, you could shove everything down. You don't even need to have it on the... Just same as JavaScript, essentially. Okay, cool. Okay, so if what we're passing in with overlaps is the rectangle... If the dragon... or if let's just try it. Cool. Let's go. Okay, I see why. Yeah. I think Lane just bumped... this probably isn't conventionally correct. I think he just bumped it up to make it more visible. But I still had to, like... This feels weird, because I still had to remember what we needed to pass in to instantiate this. I feel like I'd bump this up. Put overlaps below it. Like, right below it is fine, too. All right, cool. What's up, Long? How you doing? Yo, I'm IRL with my team, so I can't really chat, but I'm lurking. All right, sounds good. But then you give me shit. Dry. Fuck dry. What do you mean you can't chat? You can chat when you want to give me shit, Zinka. What is pass? So apparently this allows you to I did want to figure that out. Like, it allows you to override this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna comment this out. We'll just say, like, return yo. You don't need pass then. We gotta figure that out. A signal that it should be overridden. Yeah, it's like, but this works. Right? We're overriding. So, I guess it... Pass is not required for method overriding. Method overriding occurs when a subclass defines a method with the same name as a method in its superclass. When the method is called on an instance of the subclass's version of the method is executed, effectively overriding the superclass's version. The pass statement is a null operator. Oh, okay. When it is executed, nothing happens. It is useful as a placeholder when a statement is required. So instead of, like, we had to return something, so it's kind of like a placeholder. Okay. All right. Cool. But it is just a placeholder, so we don't need it, essentially. If we do have logic here, it'll still be overridden. It is basically to enforce that every class that inherits it must override it. Normally it would be called abstract method, but Python is... I don't think it enforces anything. Are you 100% sure about that? I don't think it enforces anything, because we just tested it. Reddit. Can you elaborate on that? I don't think it enforces anything. I think it's literally just kind of like something that's skipped in code, so we don't have to return something. Because we can't have a method that just does nothing. You know? So I think pass allows us to do this. What's up, Bones? How you doing? Happy Thursday. I am not 100 that Python enforces it. I thought it would, but if not, that is strange. Yeah, it's like, I guess it's like a null operator. Like, nothing happens. Nothing gets executed. I think the only reason you would use it is because you can't just have nothing in a method in Python. Oh, shit. Oh, there we go. Scribba payment just went through. All right, we're rolling. All right, we're building a Scribba course. Cool. Let's go. Do I want to stream this evening? We're not going to do it right now, by the way. We're going to do Boot.dev stuff. So here's kind of the schedule I'm thinking of. And I'm probably going to change up the schedule a little bit. Man, this song's so good. I don't want the live song, but I got to replace this. I keep saying that, but it's good. But essentially, we're going to be building out a Nest.js course for Scrimba. And we're going to be doing it live most days. Or most of what I'm building, I'm going to be doing it live. I might like do a little bit of work on it on the side, but I'd like to do most of it live. There are two things that I want to do. I want to go through a Nest refresher and just make sure, like, I just want to refresh a bit. We've been working on Twitch Sprout on and off, but it's still like, I want to make sure we're not going to be going into anything super complicated with Nest. either way, we're going to do a refresher stream. And then I have 5 ideas for kind of like a project-based tutorial a little bit. And I want to go through each and figure out like what is going to give me the best use cases to like really dig into what Nest can do. And I'm particularly thinking about the services, potentially even like having multiple services and how you split that up. I don't want to get too complicated. This course is just meant to like get you running with Nest. But I want to do 2 streams. 1 is a Nest refresher, and 2 is let's pick a project. And then probably going into next week, we are going to start diving in. We're going to start building out the code base a little bit, and I'll break it up into sections of what we're going to teach, but it should be fun. I'm really excited about it. But we're going to be doing that in the evenings. Mornings, I'm doing more Boot.dev stuff, like all Boot.dev stuff. And then evenings, we're doing Nest.js course stuff, and we're working on Twitch Sprout. So that is a schedule going forward, probably for at least a month. I'm pretty excited about it, but I will do my best to keep the Twitch schedule up to date. And I think with the Nest stuff, I don't think I'm going to keep my past broadcast up that long. The Boot.dev stuff will stay up. But yeah, I think that's pretty much my plan. It is a really good song. Happy to hear the payment came through. Yeah, I figured. I actually reached out to Per. I didn't think like they were gonna back out, but there's a weird thing with Stripe where like when you want to do like a bank transfer or anything like that, I don't even know what they paid with, but they did pay with like a bank transfer in the past. And when you do a bank transfer, Stripe has a temporary account and the bank details change. And so I remember when Scribba paid using the old details, we're like, shit, where'd the money go? And then I just realized that it's attached to my account and I had to manually like pull the funds. So I was wondering if Scribba would accidentally do that. But I think they got it right. It's kind of weird how Stripe does that though. Like they create a new temporary bank transfer every single invoice that you create. And it can confuse vendors. So anyone that's going to use Stripe, just a heads up for bank transfers. It is a really good song. Hell yeah. All right, so we got this. We solved it. Let's go. So do I go live today? I think I go live today. I think I'm going to go live in the evening because fuck it. Let's dive back into Nest. We're going to go through the documentation. And I'm kind of like really, I'm going to start building up the outline a bit more. Awesome. Curious about your perspective as someone who is building teaching tools. I'm working on a knowledge transfer at work to transfer one of my old projects and its deployment to a new person. Okay, since I'm running out of free space to take on extra stuff, what are the most important things to consider, would you say, when translating your own knowledge into actionable content that could be helpful? It really depends on what you're documenting. In its deployment, like if you're talking about like just an app in its deployment, what do you care? Like if you're here's what I would think is like if you were going into this project, what would you care about? I think that's a good way to start getting ideas of what to document. But I think documenting like I don't know how large it is. It's really hard to say. I'm assuming Jar Jar, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Do you have API documentation? I think some like a little bit of API documentation and like what features that connects to would be helpful. I guess I would have to see the project. What is the app? Like could you give me a little more context with it? But I think like, really getting it deployed is like, are you handing it to a good developer? Like if you get it deployed, they could probably play around with it. Are they familiar with the front end and back end? Or just like, are they a good front end and back end developer? Are they a good full stack developer? Are they going to be able to dig in a little bit and kind of explore the different routes and figure out those features? Do you think there's like weird context with those features or those routes that they should know about? Is that documented well in your code? Does the code document well in itself? I think it's really helpful to like do a run through or like tell them, like transfer that project over and make yourself accessible to questions as they explore the code base, assuming that you have good documentation already. Because like going over the entire, like, man, are you going to flesh out every single feature, every single route and document that? I don't know. I don't know how well your code is documented. It's really hard to say, but I think like making yourself accessible for the next week or so would be really helpful as I explore the app. They just got to like dig in. It's just like someone coming into a new code base. I got to dig in. I appreciate good backend API documentation as a front end developer. But generally I can kind of figure out the front end on my own. Yeah, I don't know. Like if you have a design system that's helpful to get access to that, like figuring out like what component. Yeah, I just don't know how it's fleshed out. So I think that's going to determine the documentation that you'll provide for that knowledge transfer. Would you ever do mock inter? Oh yeah, I hate Stripe. Don't get me started. Yeah, I think I'm going to switch to something else just because there's this like VAT thing. Basically, I'm supposed to be paying taxes on different countries. And I have a couple countries where, so different countries have thresholds of when you got to start paying taxes to their country. I have a couple countries where I've hit that threshold with one transaction. Now I'm supposed to register for local taxes for one fucking transaction under $100. I'm not doing that. I'm telling you right now, that country can come after me. I don't think they're going to. But I'm not registering for local taxes for every single damn country that has a low threshold like that. For example, like Stripe, the Stripe crew, like they're in... I don't know if this is public information. Like it has to be. They're just in a different country where that threshold... Scrimba. Scrimba is in... Some of their staff are located in a different country, and you can look it up. I don't know if it's public information. I think it is. But the threshold is very high for that country. I'm not going to mind manually registering to pay local taxes. It's going to be a pain in the ass, but I'll do it once I hit that threshold within a 12-month span. But Stripe does not automate all this. It doesn't do the tax registration. It doesn't set up any VAT stuff. Like, you have to do all of this manually. And I ain't doing it for like random ass countries. I think I'm not even going to say the country, but I'm not doing it. I'm not paying local taxes, but there are payment processors outside of Stripe that will set all this up for you automatically. Maybe they have like their own kind of like global registration in every single country and they just pay it through that. I have no idea. But Stripe is frustrating. I've been thinking about this with my course. I want to launch my own course. Do I want to do it through Stripe? Do I want to do it through Stripe? I don't think so. There was another one that was recommended. I forgot the name of it. I'm going to look into, but I'm just like, I'm venting about my frustration with like a bunch of local or global taxes, and it's just annoying. It's so annoying to deal with. Magnolia, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Would you ever do mock interviews again? Those are really cool to watch. I would probably do them myself. And it would be with regulars. Maybe that are like members or something like that, or Twitch subs. I would do something like that. I don't think I want to... It's just like so arbitrary. I don't know, to like bring some random people on to do it. I don't see the point in doing that anymore. All it does is divide my audience. even if I did mock interviews and stuff like that. I've considered doing more like mentorship sessions where I bring people on stream and I mentor them, but I don't I don't know if I even want to do, like, I can do one-off stuff, but people get too nervous on camera, and then it's hard to like get them to grow from the experience because, you know, it's going on the internet forever. It's like that idea alone can kind of make you nervous when you're already nervous, even in a mock interview. It's like, it's really hard to find people that aren't already professionals going through as an interviewee that are going to be comfortable with that. So it already splits my audience. It's hard to source for that. And then I would rather just do it myself. But then, you know, it goes back to the other two things. So if I did, it would be more like heavily discounted mentorship services if you came onto my podcast and did that or something like that. Thanks. Try to write it from what would be helpful for their perspective is a great insight. Yeah. Like, what would you care if you're going into the project? If you're going into a new project, not you going into that project, but you just going into a new project in general, if you're just handed that off and you couldn't even reach out to this person, what would you want documented? I find that an architecture diagram helps a lot, but depends how big it is. Yeah, I think that's a good take. But yeah, I'm wondering, like, how big is the project? That's my big question, too. But yeah, that would help. What's up, Jason? Looking for group. I always read that as looking for. Lane came in here. We were doing a Boot.dev stream one time, and he's like, LFG. I'm like, looking for group. What do you mean? What do you want to group with? And he had to explain. It's like, it's let's fucking go. I didn't even know that. I always read looking for group because I'm a gamer. That's crazy that LFG means looking for group and let's fucking go. Like, there needs to be like a different acronym for that. Or you could have other devs mock interview you so you could demonstrate what to do in an interview. Just an idea. It's an idea. That sounds boring. You're right. It is an idea. How boring. I'm going to go back to coding challenges. Honestly, you just sucked the energy out of me by recommending that. I'm not being serious about that, but like the idea of me going through interviews, how fucking boring. I don't know. Like, one benefit of not having to deal with like cringy, arbitrary interviews like that is like, or one benefit of like me doing my business is I don't have to do that. I don't enjoy interviews. Could be a behavior I don't enjoy behavioral interviews. I just don't enjoy going through interviews. Do you guys enjoy going through interviews? I like, even reading that sentence puts me to sleep. I gotta wake up. Hold up. Let me drink some more water. Get a little mint tea. Like, I'm just being here's the way I think about it. Like, yes, that could be useful, but there are a lot of things that, like, I guess you would have to watch my video, Kadao, where I kind of talked about, like, a lot of the content I want to create is around me trying to, like, grow my stuff, is me trying to grow as a backend developer. Like, maybe, you know what, Kadao, maybe, I bet, you know what? So here's the thing. The idea of going through a front-end interview bores the hell out of me. But what if we brought a few people on, a few hiring managers on to give me a mock interview for backend? Maybe we could do that down the road. What do you guys think about that? I'm not going to do it anytime soon because, again, I don't care for interviews. They're so fucking boring. But that would be more fun than going through a front-end interview. And I'm going to struggle more with the back-end stuff. So that could be interesting. Yeah, it's kind of like, again, yeah, I think I just go back to, like, what would you want to know about that? And then what would you want to know about an app that you know not much about? I'm not going to read all that and go through it. But yeah, I think you have your answer with that. kind of worried about like overwhelming the person, definitely going to stay available. That's what you do. Yunjay, honestly, like a diagram, I think, is actually a great idea that Renadan suggested. Hopefully you have some good API documentation, because I could tell a lot about, like, I think apps should be API driven. Well, no. I think the document, no, scrap that. I think good API documentation can tell me a hell of a lot about the application, because APIs generally should be created to serve the needs of the front end, and you could figure out quite a bit about what the features are through that API documentation if that took place. If it's like backend driven, where backend is deciding the features, that could be, oof, that's rough. Then you want a little bit more of like, do they have knowledge of the product itself? Do you need a bit of a documentation around the features of the product? It depends how familiar they are with it. I also read looking for group. Yeah, every time it happens, I'm like looking for group and I got to catch myself. A parody interview? That sounds more fun. Bones, that does. I don't think I'm going to do the mock interview stuff anytime soon. I have too much to do. I would argue, like, over the next couple of months, my schedule's booked. Like, it's just cram-packed. So I would, if I have to plan anything out like I would with the mock interview, I don't think I can fit it in the next couple of months. So I'll just give you a heads up right now with that. See, looking for group. Amazon Raid, level 25, Syntax Jedi. It's looking for group. I'm definitely more interested in a back-end interview than a front-end, since it's more what I'm interested in, but also, like, don't force yourself, like, the pain of an interview if you don't want to. Yeah, I think I would probably do it if I was, like, aiming for back-end jobs again. Or not again, just in general. Like, if I wanted to become a back-end software engineer, I'd probably do something like that. Love the idea for the back-end with you. I think if I did that, it would be back-end. If I conducted one, it would be front-end. I really appreciate the help. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully you got something out of that. What's up, Galaximos? I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing? Oh, I feel bad for you guys. I know how much interviews suck. You try to have fun with them. You know, you want to go in and try to have fun with them and learn, but it's not like I was like excited to go to my interview. Like, I give the advice, it's like, you know, try to have fun. Like, just, you're talking with another dev. You're bullshitting, right? And you're solving a problem together. It's mainly on you, right? But you do have another dev. You get absolutely stuck. But just have fun with it. Learn something. And I say this, and you could have a little bit of fun, but it's still an interview. It's still... No one likes interviews. Ugh. I'm so glad to be done with that for a while, you know? Glad you're doing great, man. I'm glad you're doing great. Hell yeah. Polymorphism review. I don't know if I said this for Magnolia, but thanks for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Take a look at the Greek roots of the word polymorphism. Poly means many. Morph means to change or form. Polymorphism in programming is the ability to present the same interface function or method signatures for many different underlying forms, data types. A classic example is a shape class that rectangle, circle, and triangle can inherit from. Okay, with polymorphism, each of these classes will have different underlying data. The circle needs its center point, coordinates, and radius. The rectangle needs 2 coordinates for the top left and bottom right corners. Okay. The triangle needs coordinates for the corners. We're not coding, though. Do I need to know these specifics? I mean, the rectangle needs 2 coordinates for the top left and bottom right corners. Okay, so bare minimum. Or the center. No, we would still need the width and the height. So yeah, okay. talking about like bare minimum points that we need. By making each class responsible for its data and its code, you're going to achieve polymorphism. In the shapes example, each class would have its own draw shape method. This allows the code that uses the different shapes to be simple and easy. And more importantly, it can treat shapes as the same, even though they are different. It hides the complexities of the difference between or behind a clean abstraction. Okay. So we have shapes. We're shaping shapes. We do shape, draw, shape. This is in contrast to the functional way of doing things where you would have had separate functions that have different function signatures. So you're saying that this draw shape could basically draw different shapes depending on this. And how do we determine the logic for that? Without like creating specific methods on circle, on rectangle. But I guess like it is just, no, it's literally, wait, actually, no, it's just shape. This is the instance. So it could be taking the method that was created on circle. It could be, it could take the method that was created on rectangle. So this is in contrast to the functional way of doing things where you would have had separate functions that have different function signatures, like draw rectangle and draw circle. Okay. I think they're just like hinting, yeah, hit by fire, it has different logic based off of like an archer. Are we just going through what we've already known? Or is this is this something new? This is one thing in courses where I'm like, is this new knowledge? Because this sounds like old knowledge. And if it's new knowledge, I need to know that because I'm not understanding it because it sounds like old knowledge. Like when I go through courses and it reemphasizes things, I like when a course tells me like, we already knew this, right? So this is just a reminder. I wish more courses did that. What is a functional signature? Okay, a functional signature or method signature includes the name, inputs, and outputs of a function or method. For example, hit by fire and the human and archer classes have identical signatures. Okay. So same method, same inputs. Name, inputs, and outputs. And same outputs. Okay. Both methods had the same name, take 0 inputs, and return integers. If any of those things were different, they would have different function signatures. Here's an example of different signatures. Okay, takes something a little bit different. The archer class, we'll pause. Let me catch up on chat a little bit because we're not going through a problem. I'm dreading interviews. They're not that bad. Just because I get really bored with them doesn't mean you need to. They can be fun. Like, actually, I think interviews were a little bit more fun, but I was more nervous when I was first starting out. To me now, they're just like, I still get nervous, but they're just bored. To put myself through that when I don't need to, ugh. I hate interviews. I don't know. What do I hate so much about? Like the idea. Because that idea is like, if I did something like that, it could be helpful for you guys. But I could just build stuff instead. Like if I really want to grow, like it's really just about like testing your knowledge for some arbitrary position and things that they care about, which is why it's really hard to generally prepare for a ton of different interviews at a ton of different companies. How do you do that? You build shit. You get a solid foundation and you build a bunch of stuff, or you build a really deep project, right? That's how you get better. That's how you prepare. People want to do like specific coding challenges. Yeah, there's like an array of coding challenges that you can do that will challenge your fundamentals and test them and make sure you have them down. But people that like go into these like niche leak code problems, it's like, what are you doing? Most of these companies are going to test for these specific things. So you really have to know the company and like what they test for, what they care about, and train to that standard. And if you can't do that, you really don't have that insight, then you just get a solid foundation, you just build shit. That's how you prepare. So do I care about some arbitrary assessment for, like, if I brought on a hiring manager, what they're specifically going to test for? They're going to test for what they're used to testing for in their company. Like, that sounds so boring. It's just so boring. I don't want to do it. It's a waiting game? What is a waiting game? What do you mean? Oh, you're saying like you're applying right now and you're waiting to hear back? Depends on if you have leverage or not. What do you mean by that? Yeah, dude, just build. Aren't you working on that personal project still, Anonymous? It's either a coding assessment, which they grade in some specific way, subjective, or it's algorithm interviews, which I haven't done in a long time. Or it's a take-home project. There's a way in hell I'm doing a take-home dude, that sounds even more boring. I might as well just work on my own project. But yeah. I mean, I would say like coding assessment and algorithm are almost the same. I think coding assessment is like an overarching thing that encompasses algorithm type interviews. But coding assessment, you can assess other things too. I guess that's how I look at it. But sometimes you'll get like some arbitrary DSA problems, like very basic ones, to just screen you out before they waste other engineers' time, which is fine. Like if some of your initial problems, even if it's online, you should always be able to talk to a recruiter first, right? Talk to someone, a human being, before you do any technical challenges. But then before you meet the tech team, if they give you like a couple of coding challenges, like they're basically trying to assess like, are you kind of a hack or not? Those are usually like fundamental problems or basic problems where it's like, do you know how to code or not? Like, do you know how to work through logic? Do you have a bit of a foundation or not? And I think those are actually awesome. It doesn't waste their time. It doesn't waste your time. And you get better with it. And those you should be able to go through so quickly eventually if you have a solid foundation. They're really easy when you actually have a solid foundation. They're meant to just test foundational skills. That's it. They're like, if they're giving you like hardcore niche leak code problems, like you just found the unicorn company that is like the shittiest company in the world. That's just, oof, that's unlucky. Don't gamble. But a lot of times, like those initial algorithm type challenges are just basic fundamental challenges. But if they're doing like, I don't know, sometimes you get a bigger company or you have more backend focused stuff where they will test for more algorithm heavy, data structure and algorithm heavy type challenges. I would rather do that, honestly, than take-home assessments. Those not take-home assessments, take-home projects. There are a lot of companies that expect you to like code for at least 3 hours on take-home projects. I don't want to spend that amount of time for a company that's not paying me, where I don't have connections within the company. What a waste of my time. I did one 5-hour assessment. It was a take-home project, and they wanted me to do more. They were like encouraging me, like, yeah, like at least 5 hours. What do you mean fucking at least 5 hours? You're not some vain company where I kind of expect this like very rigorous process getting in. And I did the 5 hours because I had a personal recommendation with the company. But I will never do that again. Not in my lifetime. I will do DoorDash before I do that again. Yeah, I applied to some. Oh, for my project, I'm making the backend and learning to write unit testing. Ah, very cool. What are you using for unit testing? Leverage to negotiate how qualified experience you are. For me, it makes me much... Okay, so for nervousness. You're right. Yeah. When you have a little bit more leverage... I don't know. I've had interviews where I had more leverage and yeah, I guess I do feel a little less nervous with interviews like that. Like when you have a safety, like when you have a current dev job and you're applying for other dev positions, it feels like I'm less nervous with that versus if like when I was applying for my first dev job. I don't know if that's because I didn't go through a lot of interviews yet, or I think it was probably because of not even leverage though. It's more of like not like the world isn't going to shatter for you. It doesn't feel like that if you fail the interview. And if you can get into a state where it's like, that's why I encourage this behavior. It's like, if you fail it, you grew from it. That's awesome. Like just have fun in the interview. Like make a good impression. And if you could do that, I think you're focused less on what happens if I fail versus something a little bit more optimistic. But I do find I'm less nervous when I kind of already have a job or I'm financially secure. I used to work in the animation industry and they used to give take-home projects to. Some took 8 hours. That is crazy, Kelsey. That is crazy. But I would be curious about like how many people were applying to that position. So the reason why I don't like 5+ hour take-home projects is because there's so many people applying for the position. And I think if they ever did that, like a take-home project like that, I would do no more than 3 hours. And I would have to be fairly confident, like, there aren't 50 other people they gave that take-home project to. You know what I mean? I think that'd be relevant. So if you were just, like, competing with, like, 5 people with a take-home project, man, 8 hours is still a long time. Oh, you use Jest. Okay, gotcha. All right, cool. Ugh. All right, we got a few minutes left. Archer. Okay, so Archer classes hit by fire method takes an input damage, which is used to calculate the new health. This is different signature than human classes hit by fire method, which takes no inputs. You know what? I think I'm just gonna go through this. We're gonna chill. I'm not gonna rush it. We got a few minutes left before I gotta hop into my 101. Yeah, that's it. So I don't know if I'm gonna go live this evening. I think I want to try. I think I do. So I'm gonna work out, and then I think I want to try to go live. But we're gonna be doing a lot of streaming next week. A lot of streaming. I have to get used to streaming. Fuck. I am someone that it's rough for me to stream long hours. It just saps my energy. I gotta try to get used to it. I think it's something I can train myself to do. But I think I need to give up Wednesdays. Like Monday, Tuesday, go back to Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday and stream. And then we'll just stream a ton on those days. I gotta get used to it. What time? I think like 3 p.m. If I do stream it, it's probably gonna be 3. I'm gonna aim for 3 for sure. But we're gonna be going through Nest docs. And I'm probably gonna pull up my Twitch Sprout app. And I kind of want a refresher on how I organize things. Because I know I made some mistakes as well. I want to refresh her with that because I do want to reorganize that a little bit. Oh man, I'm excited to build this. Central time. It's always central for me. Central time. But Bones, you could see it on my schedule, on my Twitch schedule. So it should give you the time in your time zone too, if you want to make that easy. Just click the schedule tab. Not sure how many people exactly, but yeah, it was brutal. Oof. Yeah, Kelsey. Well, I mean, sometimes you come from an industry where you walk into the dev industry and you're like, why are you guys complaining? We had it harder here. That is one of those situations. You're like 8 hours. I could do a 5-hour take-home assessment. So that's good. That's a good thing. All right, guys, I gotta hop into the 101. I appreciate you guys being here. I'm gonna try to go live. Then the Nest streams are probably not gonna stay live for very long, or the course generation streams. I think so. Some of the streams will stay on YouTube. I keep the most amount of my live streams on Twitch. So if you ever want to go back to, or if you ever want, I can't talk. If you ever want to go back to a past broadcast, you can usually see that on Twitch. I share some of them on YouTube, just knowledge for you, because I know some people ask, like, where did the YouTube one go? Sometimes it just disappears. So just want to give you a heads up with that. But all right, I'm going to try for later. I will post in my announcements if I go live, and I will see you guys next time I'm live. All right, take care.